Dr. Noel here again with the Gem of the Week, and this week I want to talk to you about pain. Pain is something that unfortunately we all get to experience, but there's different kinds of pain and they can fall into one of three categories. And actually sometimes the categories can overlap, so you can experience more than one type at one time. The first one's nociceptive pain, second one is neuropathic pain, and the third is nociplastic pain. Nociceptive pain is the kind of pain that you feel when you get an injury. You hurt your wrist. I hurt my wrist a few weeks ago, so I hurt my wrist. You hurt your knee, you hurt your back. The pain that comes on because there is irritation to the tissues. We have special receptors in our joints, in our muscles, in our tendons, ligaments, in our tissues that are called nociceptors. They're all over our body. Those receptors will get a pain signal or an injury signal, and they're going to send the signal up the spine and up to the brain, and by the time it reaches the brain, it reaches the brain stem. This is where pain is first experienced, and this is also where pain gets to be turned off. So pain inhibition happens in the pain inhibitory pathways of the brainstem. Now, once the injury is attenuated, inflammation starts coming down, the signal dampens, and also the brain can start turning off pain as well. And that's where it's experienced. So even though we may have a physical bodily injury, pain is experienced when it's interpreted by the brain, not when the signal is firing. So the signal fires. You will only feel pain if your brain can receive that signal and say, yes, that means pain. Okay? For now, that's just kind of keep that in your mind. Then we have neuropathic pain. That's neuropathy. That's nerve pain. Those are your nerve injuries. It's really common for diabetics to have diabetic neuropathy, or there's other kinds of neuropathies where there's tingling, maybe numbness or burning pain that you can feel in your extremities or in your body. Okay, that's neuropathic pain, nerve injury kind of pain. And then we've got neuroplastic. The neuroplastic is the kind of pain that's typically in multiple places of the body, okay? And it's a kind of pain that doesn't have a good explanation for being there. And it's also a kind of pain that can be the hardest to turn off. So neuroplastic pain, again, is typically a problem where at the level of the brain, your ability to turn off and modulate pain is impaired. And the best way to resolve those is addressing multiple systems, and it takes a long time. Those are not the kinds of pain patterns that can be turned off in a day or in a week, but more so over months. So you got to be really persistent with creating these changes. The neuroplastic pain right here can be turned off, but something needs to change in the brain. Something needs to change in the brainstem. And something needs to change systemically in the body as well. So you've got to drive inflammation down dramatically because the inflammation is constantly irritating that pain. But another thing that has to happen is something has to change as well in your mind, because the thing with this kind of pain, the nociplastic pain, also known as neuroplastic, but nociplastic pain, your mindset makes a huge difference there. If in your mind you think about the fact that you're in pain, and you think about all the different things that can cause pain, and anytime you go to do them you think, oh, that's going to give me more pain, what you're doing is you're giving the pain more strength. That's exactly what happens. You're making it stronger and more plastic. You're building endurance, right? You're feeding that pain, which is really tough because I know the pain is real and it's there. But mentally, you need to make a change and you need to turn that off and say, you know what, from now on, I'm not going to give pain any attention. All right? So you have to turn that off. And you have to visualize yourself doing things without experiencing the pain. Even though you know that doing those things may lead to pain, you have to visualize yourself doing those things without the pain. Okay, so your brain starts to reverse that process. But the three sections of the brainstem are the midbrain, the pons, and the medulla. Don't worry about the terms. All three of them have the ability to turn pain down. And so that's another thing that we want to do, is we want to do activities that specifically engage this area. Now, if anytime you move your body it hurts, that can be hard. But one thing that we can use, and I've used that successfully, are eye movements, because eye movements are controlled by, at the very least, the top two sections here. And there are other kinds of exercise that we can do that are simple, that may require breathing or gargling or simple things like that that engage the medulla. Okay, so all three of these areas can easily be addressed or engaged with eye movement training. And so that's neuropathic pain. Again, there's a lot more on this topic, but I just want to give you an idea that it can be reversed with persistence over months. Now, back to nociceptive pain. What if you've got nociceptive pain and it's lasting longer than you wish it would, right? What are some of the things that we can do? And there's a number of technologies that we have and that we use successfully to reduce pain, like laser therapy, like pulse PMF therapy, that's magnetic. But there's one in particular I want to share with you, because I recently injured my wrist, and you know, my livelihood, my job depends on the use of my hands. So I really need to bring that pain down quickly. And so I want to show you exactly what I did. What I ended up doing is I used our device here called StimPod, and I'm going to put this grounding pad here on one side. And even to my own surprise, now I've used this for many, many years, and you know, I think it's really good for me to get injured every once in a while, just to really appreciate exactly how well this works, but also how it works and how best to use it, because I learned something on myself with this injury. Because the first thing that I did when I injured my wrist is I used our pulse machine to help accelerate healing, and it made a big difference. It really helped a lot. But I had just this pinpoint pain right in there, right in my carpals, that just was not going away. And when I used this the first time, that pain went down at least 90%. But what I learned is exactly how to make that happen. So first thing is, I've got to find the point of pain. So I'm going right on the point of pain where it hurts the most. And in order for me to find that level of pain, what I need to do is I need to keep turning up the intensity until it hurts. So I don't want it to be excruciating, but I really want to feel it. And then I need to move this stylus around, because there is one specific location, and when I hit it, it really screams. So I want to feel pain, but I don't want it to be excruciating. I want it to be as tolerable as possible. So as high as I can take it, but tolerable. That's what I want. So I'm going to keep turning this up. And then once I reach that point, see how this makes my hand move like that? That's good. We want that. But I may even move my wrist. So my biggest issue was bending my wrist all the way down and all the way up. So I may even either hold it in position or keep moving it. Whatever generates the pain is what I want. And I did this for 10 minutes the first time. And then the second time I did it actually I went 20 minutes the second time. And the amount of pain reduction that I got was significant. I mean, it was a good 90% the first time, and then the pain started coming back, and then I brought it down even more the second time. So I just want to kind of show you what this device does. This helps to interrupt pain, but what it also does is great for if you go right on a nerve, you can basically restore function in the nerve. So you'll see that. Let me see if I can find that nerve here. Yep, that's a little high. But basically, if you go right on a nerve, see how it moves my hand like that? Yeah, so if you go on a nerve like that, you can actually help to heal the nerve, not just reduce pain for that neuropathic pain as well, but it actually helps to heal the nerve. So it's one thing to bring pain down, but are you doing something good, right? So you could use things like cortisone to bring inflammation and pain down, but is it good for your body? And the answer is no. That's why you're limited to how many times you can do it. With this here, you can actually reduce pain, but you can also improve healing and function of the nerves. So thank you for listening. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out.